SPY new all-time high coming back now again. Profit taking jumping in here.
LV out. Line 1 surpasses $5 million in Bitcoin holdings. LV out.
GNRC's going to green for the day now. Market internals all over the good, just pretty flat. The market's just chopping all around. Market internals very, very flat. Good morning, Heaven. Good morning. Okay, be right back. Cereal. He's doing his work orders. Oh. Fun, huh? Fun. Huh? Yeah, you do get paid for it. It's pretty good to sit there on a computer. That's what I think. Those that have a good profitable trade today, go. Packed in there. Packed. Very short of Tesla. Short Tesla is getting crushed the last 2 days. It's a short squeeze going on. He's getting absolutely destroyed. Soup's out. Make some adjustments to it. You don't eat his food?
No, he hasn't gone.
Isn't good.
I haven't eaten.
You also have clients today too?
No.
Oh, no clients. That's good. Did you say she had 9 dogs this morning today or 10?
Yeah.
How many dogs do they have? 2? More than 2 dogs?
Oh, how many dogs?
Yeah.
I thought you said how many doctors.
No.
Oh, 2.
One was the puppy though.
Okay, back and I can start looking for some more trades again. All right, see if we have any questions. MSTR has been down for quite a while. Ari, MSTR. Yeah, MicroStrategy. It's been coming down. It's trying to bounce up. It's above the 8, but it's got the 15 above it. It's got a horizontal resistance above it. It's got the 200-day moving average above it. It's too weak for me. Right. Long call out, Doug, long call out ARWR, good relative strength and volume. Yeah, ARWR, that's Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals. That's one Ari mentioned this morning. It's right on resistance here. Horizontal resistance. This is a high volume horizontal line here at 31.16. Then it's got room to 33.01. Nice. This is a nice setup though. In this move up, come back down, moving up. But again, just be careful how far it gets extended. Right now it's not. And you get through that resistance, you've got a couple dollars to the upside on it. That's a nice. Yeah, Ari pointed that out this morning, and it's a nice look. Thanks, Doug. GNRC, just slightly green. Oh, green by 75 cents. Again, I did take some WBDs calls on WBDs January $20 calls, just based on news, based on unusual option activity, and the fact that Comcast is thinking about also making a bid for Warner Brothers along with Skydance. That would obviously drive the price up. Again, choppy spot here. Put a new all-time high, pull back again a little bit. Very choppy. Again, market fairly slow here today. Up 0.08% on the SPY. Our triple Qs up a little bit more, up 0.4%. Q's a little bit stronger. And the IWM Russell 2000 a week, down 0.77. Again, I did take some WBD calls, $20 calls for January, just off of unusual option activity in news. There was a rumor out that there's Warner Brothers there's going to be a bid for Warner Brothers, most likely from Skydance. Now Comcast says they may also get into the bidding, so that would of course drive the price up higher. So I took some $20 calls for January based on unusual option activity in the news. Speculative trade. We have GNRC. I actually added to it today a little bit. Again, this is a technical trade because we do not have, again, on the daily chart on GNRC, we do not have the current multi-time frame momentum in our favor yet. We do have it on the daily, on the current time frame momentum on the daily, but not the multi-time frame because of this big drawback, this big pull down. This was a long one, so a lot of the multi-time frames have yet to switch over, and I'm anticipating they will on a bounce here on GNRC. But again, the trade we took was what I call a technical trade. It's based on the technicals of this particular setup right here. This is one Roger gave us yesterday. I love the setup on it. It's a big bull flag. It's moving over. Fell down through the 8, 15, fell all the way down here, almost to the 50-day moving average, and then moved up here. And you know, Generac they do a lot with generators, and a lot of times if a hurricane pops up, you'll get it's threatening the U.S. at all. You'll get a big bounce in Generac. Okay, we did close out our AA trade today. Alcoa, we closed out that weekly ATM. I thought it was getting a little bit too extended. It got above the 200-day moving average. Too extended. We wouldn't be able to write 32s for this week. We'd sell 32s. We would have had to go to 33, which means that distance would have been between 30 and 33, which increased our margin by a requirement and our risk by about 50%. I didn't want to deal with that. We had a nice profit in it, and so we took it off. My Lulu trade closed also, by the way, in case anybody was in that Lulu put debit spread with me that looks like it was going to be a loser. We got a little bit lucky this morning on this pullback, and I was able to close it for a 50% profit. Hey Ryan, GCTK, yeah, we're trading that one this morning. Yeah, that was a Momo trade, GCTK, big volume on the thing, low float. Yeah, nice job. That was a nice one. 90-cent gain, very nice on that $10 stock. Did I close VSAT? No, it's higher than Notepads up there. Closed double A today. We took profits in that. I'm still in VSAT. Disappointing so far. It's down today after having a nice day yesterday. Right back to the 8 and 15 again today. I did add to some GNRC. I went out to October in them. And I also put on some calls, some additional calls on WBD. I sold the ones I had from yesterday today for 70% profit. I went to the $20 calls for January based on unusual option activity and discussions now that Comcast may get into the bidding situation to buy Warner Brothers. Yeah, VSAT's a roller coaster, and it's just the price action's been kind of crappy. Yesterday was very nice. Today it's just not following through yet. It went right to the resistance. Again, these horizontal resistance levels that I put on here are pretty effective. You see how it stopped right there? It stopped right there. That's a horizontal, high volume horizontal resistance level. Went to it yesterday. Now we got this support level here, 30.50. I'd like to see that break back above that again today. Tesla's still moving strongly today, by the way. Looks like a short squeeze in Tesla the last 2 days. Big move up yesterday, big move up today. SPY now coming back down again. Blah, blah. You're hesitant to do any long swings given we are at an all-time high. Do I comfortably take swings in that market? Yeah. Yep. I do. I mean, listen, the market's made lots of all-time highs this year. It's been bullish since April. The market sentiment's been bearish. Everybody thinks the market's getting to a high, and it's just gonna. They always feel there's a sentiment that the market shouldn't be going up. It should be going down. And people are trading like that. That people were in Tesla short, they get squashed. People have been in the market short since April. They're getting squashed. We trade what we see. Putting in a new all-time high, it's been putting them in one after another. So I mean, if you look at the chart on SPY, we've been putting in new all-time highs. We put one in here, put another one in here, another one in here, one back here. But look what the market's done. We had a pullback on a jobs report, but this is a direction, and this market is moving up. This is a bullish market, regardless of what the fundamentals say. The jobs are weak. Market should be going down. It's not. So am I afraid to take swings? Absolutely not. I don't take a lot of swings, and I'm only taking the very highest probability trade setups that I can find. GNRC is a technical trade. I'm basing it off the technical setup, but I still like it as a long. But yeah, I don't have any problem swinging trades. We've had some good ones. UNH was a beautiful short-term swing trade. Worked nice. So no, I don't have any problem. There's a SPY. Again, likely to be very choppy and pretty flat today after the big move up yesterday. Made a new all-time high today, but not a big run up here today. Fairly small, just 0.04%. And going into a weekend, the Fed's coming up next week. Everybody's anticipating a quarter-point cut. Market's still bullish. See what GNRC does here. I added to it, went out to October, and there's some more calls on that today. I'm still in the UNH put credit spread that I had put on last week. That expires early this week. It expires next week. 330 puts, 327.50 puts, and I got $52, and then on one set of them, $62 another set. Right now, those are trading at. I got a sell order in to buy them back for 10 cents. They're at 16 cents right now. They close next Friday. That's going to end up being a nice trade, I think. Getting $62 on a 250 spread is really, really nice. Again, we rolled AA. I mean, we did not roll AA. We closed the AA weekly ATM trade out. Took profits on that today. About $80 a contract profit. And again, I closed out the Lulu put debit spread that I had on that I didn't think was going to be profitable. I held it all the way to the end today. Still stayed bearish, but it wasn't moving down much. And today I got a nice flush on it, so I in for $1 and out for $1.50. This week worked out pretty well. All right. Halo looks to have pulled back. Would I still take it, Jacob? Okay, let's look at Halo. Okay. So let's look at a couple things. All right. All right. Here's Halo on the 5-minute chart. All right. So you look at the 5-minute chart and say, oh, Halo's pulling back. But let's switch over to the daily chart. All right. Here's the daily chart. Would I still take it? Yes. It's setting up a doji sandwich setup, by the way, in this thing. You know, and it could come right back here to the 8 in this algo line, but so far it hasn't. This is just sideways price action today. Yeah, I'd still like it long. I'd still take it long. Gary, you read the hedge funds missed the rally and playing catch up now, fueling the rally. Any thoughts on that? I don't have any idea what the hedge funds are doing. There's a lot of hedge funds. Some did, some didn't. As they come in, usually you're coming into the last quarter of the year. It's fairly bullish normally, but this has been a weird year. August is usually pretty bearish. It wasn't that bearish, so I'm just going by price action. I don't read about what the hedge funds are doing. I don't care what the hedge funds are doing. A lot of people missed the rally. A lot of people got short the stock and get crushed. And yeah, maybe some of them are trying to make up for it. I don't know. And it's possible. Again, I don't predict what the market's going to do. I certainly don't read stuff about individual hedge funds. I'm much more interested in the news that Comcast may be going to put out a bid for Warner Brothers. That's significant news. That can impact the stock. What the hedge funds are doing, really, it's not going to help. It doesn't help you at all to know what they're doing, even if they're telling you the truth, which is also probably questionable. Microsoft through the 50. Nice, thank you, Ram Kumar. It's fine. Chop, chop, chop.
Very important question. 4. Hey Google, what's the temperature in James Island?
Currently in James Island, it's 78 degrees.
Nice. Hey Google, what's the high in James Island?
The high today in James Island, South Carolina, is predicted to be 81 degrees.
Nice weather every day.
Yep.
Doji sandwich doesn't need to be at the top of the previous candle. It's ideal if it is, but it's still a doji sandwich. It's a big green candle with a doji. Because basically a doji just means indecision after a long candle. If it's at the top, it's better, but you'd be waiting for this to be green on Monday, and you'd kind of like to see it get above today's high, which today's high, by the way, is very close to Friday's high. I mean to Thursday's high. Thursday's high 77.58 on Halo, and today's 77.60. So almost exactly went right to the high and pulled back a little bit. In this doji sandwich setup, this is not really a doji sandwich setup till about 3:30 today. That you got to see what the price action is for the rest of the day. Those WBD options I added today, that I bought today, the $20 calls for January 16th, paid $1.15. They're trading at $1.60 now. I mean, that's a 40% gain on these things already on a price action, which is, there's a lot of volatility in this stock. There's a lot of premium, additional premium going in there because of this volatility. And this is a pretty nice jump in it. Again, it's trading at 18.59. Remember, these things are out of the money. These are out of the money calls that are trading at $1.60. And the stock is $1.40 below the strike price. It's by not doing much of anything. It is an LPTE day, by the way, low probability trading environment. Probably don't really need to know that and hear that. But market's not doing anything. After a nice day yesterday, what we've got is a low probability trading environment. So we're not going to be looking to do a lot of trades today. We'll be looking to see if we can find something that's outstanding. But that means that you're going to have to depend on the stock that you take to do all the work. And trading the indexes on an LPTE day is very tough because you're down below the VWAP, you're up below the VWAP, then right back down below it again. Not a good environment for trading SPY super systems off the indexes.
Limerick is coming from the Washington Post. Trump officials link child deaths to COVID shots.
We're gonna get a drop in some of these biotech vaccine companies. Trump officials to link child's deaths to COVID shots is what they're saying. Whether they actually have any evidence of that, I have no idea, but it's going to affect these stocks. So this is BNTX coming in, Moderna coming in off of this. Again, algos are trading these things. Remember that that they're reading this news and they're trading this, so just be careful. healthcare ETF is dropping down. The XLV, which would be understandable with this. The algos are trading all of this stuff. The XLV coming in pretty hard. Harry says this is all these. He thinks the likelihood of that being actually the truth, being a case, is probably bogus. I'm probably going to take either some calls on one of these stocks, or a straddle or a strangle for next week. Option prices are too high on these things right now, though. A lot of unusual option activity in the call side on Moderna now. Harry, the IV and PFE for next week is 30%. Okay, thank you. It has a really small ATR, Pfizer. I kind of want to sign something a little bit more volatile than that. Huge amounts of call volume going into Moderna right now. $25 calls for expiring today, 10,000, 338, 26 calls, 10,000, over 10,000, 27, 2750s. Next week, 26 is 15,000, 2750s 15,000. Lots of big volume going into the Moderna calls here. Just watching these things right now. Again, news-driven market. This is news driving this right now. A lot of these stocks are getting beat up here. This is likely a huge overreaction on this kind of stuff. You know, they're going to link, according to the news, they're going to link child deaths to Trump officials to link child deaths to COVID shots. And, you know, there's been no indication of any of that in any kind of studies previously. So I'm skeptical, to say the least. But I'm trying to find a way to trade this. Moderna is decent. Pfizer is a good stock. It might be a good one to put some calls on. Let me look at what they look like. It's not very volatile. That stock doesn't move an awful lot. I mean, it's a pretty small drop for Pfizer off of this news. Trading at 24.21. $24 calls for next week. 49 by 53. Somebody bought $25 options, 25 strike options on Pfizer for November 21st. 33,000 contracts. Just went off 33,000 contracts. 65 by 70 cents out of the money, $25 calls. The stock doesn't move that much. Next week's $23 calls right now are $1.21 by $1.28. So that's in the money by $1.13. I took some of those. I took some of these, the Pfizer $23 calls for next week. Spread is all over the place. It was just 88 by $1.50. I paid, what did I pay for these things? Pfizer. $1.26. I paid $1.26 for the $23 calls for next week. $23 calls for next week. Pfizer. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to. I'm looking at Moderna, but the options are too expensive to do straddles and strangles on these things right now. So I took Pfizer. That's the more conservative route here for that. Okay, so I'm not going to mess around with that much anymore. On that news, took Pfizer for next week, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. I took the $23 cost for next week, and Pfizer paid $1.26 for them. We'll see what happens. Ryan, hoping for a pullback in WBD. Don't want to chase. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these trades are pretty speculative. Unless some news comes out, I think that's Comcast's not going to get into the battle for it, or that Skydance is not going to offer a high bid for it. I don't think there's going to be any major pullback. It's going to be news that's going to drive this thing most likely. Okay, so back to the market, which fell down here on this a little bit. Most of that news on the COVID thing was isolated to the biotech stocks, or the vaccine stocks, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, BNTX, and Moderna. Again, it's been a news-driven market for a long time. News is what moves the market around here lately. And a lot of times when it moves like this, these are overreactions, which is why I took Pfizer. We'll see what happens. It's pulling back, of course, but I'm giving it till next week. SPY just chopping around. Okay, see if we have any more questions. Hedge funds are not considered institutional buyers, you say, Gary? No, they are. Hedge funds are considered institutional buyers. Hedge funds, investment banks, mutual funds, and pension groups. Those are all part of the institutional buyers. But just because you read something that they tell you that they're trying to catch up, doesn't mean that's exactly what they're doing. So the price action is what tells us, not what they write. For the January WBD calls, are you planning to hold until more details on the bidding come out? Depends on what the price does. I mean, if I get a big spike in it, I'm going to take it. If we get confirmation that Comcast is actually going to also put in a bid for it, then that should shoot it up. I would probably just take profits on a big pop there. Pfizer's not in the IRA. No, it's not in the IRA. It's basically based on its overreaction to this news. And your mentor who's traded since after 60 deferred servicemen because of unexpected possible lawsuits with pharmaceuticals will never trade them. Yeah, pharmaceuticals are tough. And it's not just lawsuits. It's also FDA reports, etc., and things like that. They trade to their own drummer. But I'm trading that Pfizer off of an overreaction to the news. That's all. I do a lot of overreaction trading, and of course I'm not going to put that out as an alert trade. But a lot of traders want to know what I'm doing, and I'm not going to come back and say, I just made 100% on this thing, and I never told anybody about it. So that's why I do that. I'm trying to be fairly transparent here. All right, 5 minutes to 12 almost. 6 minutes to 12. Very slow day. Jacob, you asked a question about Halo earlier, then to step away, so I missed your answer. With the pullback, would I still get into it? I still like Halo, yeah. I mean, this is the daily chart on Halo. It's really just a matter of whether you like the daily chart or not. Look at this big volume here. This is a nice move here. It's just putting in a doji today. Yeah, I still like it. Still like it long. It's a biotech. Remember, biotechs don't trade with the market. They all trade their own drummer over there. News like that COVID news just a bit ago is going to impact a bunch of stocks that deal in that area. But they don't really trade with the market. So you don't really look for relative strength, relative weakness in them versus Aspire, the Qs. If you're going to trade them, you can always look inside the biotech ETF and find out which stocks are performing the best of those.
Dave,
Yeah.
I'm on my way to do my constitutional law.
All right. Impressive. Alfie's in his he's doing his, where is Alfie? Oh, he's right there. He's doing his constitutional map.
That's what he does.
Did you know?
Ready for
Is
summer.
accurate.
It will more.
In a good time.
It will more while I'm walking, but I gotta
All
do.
all the stocks that do COVID are all dropping right now. The Trump administration says they're going to link COVID shots to children's death. So Ari, who's a doctor in Catholic, Texas, types me. He says, "This is a bunch of bullshit. Don't listen to this. There's no such studies anywhere showing any such thing."
They wouldn't have made it safe to chip for children if they had
It's
this.
idiotic.
Of course it is.
This is bullshit. They're trying to
They're
justify this
Are
crap.
they trying to kill children?
Apparently they are. It's killing children.
Killing the old and the new.
It's
They
so
are.
anyway, I bought some Pfizer calls because Plum wanted way down. It's a bunch of bullshit.
It is a bunch of bullshit.
It's probably going to be something come up and say, "No, we didn't really mean that."
These
You got no
people,
studies. There's no studies in any of
these
this
people
stuff.
are criminals.
And Ari, he's in Texas for God's sakes.
Yeah.
He's probably a Republican. He says, "This is bullshit." There's no such thing. He says, "I'm buying all these things as soon as they file out."
Hey, there's soup for lunch.
Excellent.
Definitely deep salt and
Of
crackers.
course.
Huh?
Of course.
Oh, lots of crackers. Yeah. That's the way it goes.
Right, just go easy.
I will. I always go. Easy is my middle name.
Oh yeah, sure it is. Alfie, sleeping is your middle name, isn't it? Huh? You good boy.
Sleepy Alfie is his
You the
name.
good boy.
The chill dog.
He says, rub my tummy. Rub my tummy, please. I'm a good boy, aren't I? I'm a very good boy. You're a good boy.
Too much prep before I can go walk.
I know. All right, a little after 12 o'clock here. And market not doing anything. Again, it's pretty slow day. This is an LPTE, low probability trading environment. The biggest burst out we had was from the stocks on that news on this COVID report. Trump officials to link child deaths to COVID shots. We'll see if they actually do that. I think this is a huge overreaction on all these stocks. I took Pfizer calls for next week. We'll see what it does. Speculative, not posting it obviously. Just want to keep anybody who's in the room informed on these kind of things. Because I know a lot of folks in here do trade some of the stuff I talk about. So. Okay, Douglas, on ARWR, if you want to know where I got the resistance from, I don't really know. I have to go take a look. Let me look. All right, so the area I got it in is there's several different ones, but 3116. This is the resistance area right there. There's no high volume candlesticks in here, and we get this one which is a little bit lower, but the reason I put it at 3116 was because of this big gap here of high volume candles. We had a lot of high volume candles starting there, so that's where I put it. It went right through that one there. It went kind of through the bottom of this one here. This is a candle, top candle here. So I chose that level right there. There's sometimes they're fairly subjective, but that's where I got it from, right over here. and there's some others candles. See, it went through this candle right here. So there'd be one at the top and one at the bottom of that, but there's another one right here. That's where I got it from. And it did seem to work so far today. I mean, you know, it's there it went to it right to it right there and stopped. It takes a little bit of work to get these things, and again, they're not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but I find these things to be very, very useful in my trading. Again, I added some more. I took some Warner Brothers for January. It's pulling back a little bit now. January $20 calls. SPY coming in a little bit. Joe, am I in the mic in my room daily? Yeah, every day. From market open, till about market open to market close. Basically, I usually take like an hour for lunch where I'm just watching the market, but I keep the mic off so that I can eat without people listening to me eat, unless I see something in the market that comes up. Yeah, but all day long I'm here, looking for trades, discussing trades, talking about technical analysis, talking about the SPY super system here, and how to use that to determine if institutions are in the trade or not, finding high probability trades, and any kind of news trades that I see based on my news feed. Yep. How much does it cost? It depends on what you want to do, Joe. I would refer you to talk to Rory. Just give him a call and he'll tell you what it is for the room. He's got the room and the alert service, and then they have the software which you can buy. But my room is it comes in either quarterly or yearly or lifetime. And I'm not exactly sure what the pricing is on it right now. Just call Rory at 786-732-4656. All right, and he'll tell you exactly. 786-732-4656. Send him an email or send him a letter, or give him a voicemail if he's not there, and he can answer that for you. Again, it's support at rightlinetrading.com for the email. Okay, that's all you need, Joe. He'll tell you what the deals are. Obviously, it's if you buy a year, it's a lot cheaper than trying to buy a quarter. And the lifetime deal that they had was really excellent. I'm not sure if it's still on or not. You'd have to check with him on that. But yeah, we do discuss this all day long, every day. I don't know too many rooms that do that where you have somebody in there talking to you, answering questions on trades. That's what I spend most of the day is obviously taking trades, but also answering questions on trades, or potential trades, or stocks that people see that they like. How much is a can of? Oh yeah, you asked this yesterday, Tomas, and I answered it. I didn't realize you had logged off yet. How much volume does a candle need to have in order to be a high volume candle? Yeah, 1.25%, 125% of normal 50-day moving average. And that's an arbitrary number, you know, I mean, could have made it 130%, it could have made it 150 is a lot. 125. What I'm trying to do is identify enough volume that kind of a volume day is indicative of institutions being in the trade. So it's, you know, it's just, it's another institutional type checkpoint. See what Pfizer's doing. Just kind of moving sideways right here. Halo starting to bounce back up again. Again, this is a very slow day of the market. GNRC just moving sideways. Tesla's trying to bounce off the 15. G Pro today down just a bit. Trading almost at $2 though. All right, gonna be lunchtime here in a few minutes. It's about 12, almost 12:15. SPY just not, again, it's low probability trading environment. Market's not going anywhere here today. You've got SPY up 0.01%, zero, flat as a pancake. Flat. Q's pretty flat. They're up 0.4%, so pretty decent on this. And the IWM down about 0.9%. So SPY very, very flat. Market internals pretty flat. Moving down a little bit right now. Tesla bounced right off to 15. Decent long today. Decent long setup on Tesla today. Hey Ram Kumar, isn't Tesla 2 AMAs extended for earning to go long at this point? I'm talking about doing this for a intraday trade, and not a swing trade. Intraday trade only, basically a SPY super system trade off of a break above the 15 as it turns green right here, just to trade it for a quick intraday trade, not a swing trade at all. Jacob, if the thing stays stagnant, will we be treated to more card counting stories later? If I think of some, I can talk about this afternoon. We'll see what the market's doing. I guess I did kind of go on a little bit of a card counting storytelling rant last week on my career as a blackjack card counter in Las Vegas when I was much younger. Made my living playing blackjack, tracking cards. Actually, if you know what card counting is, it's not actually keeping track of each card. You just keep track of what the composition of the remaining of the deck is based on how many are there more small cards been removed than big cards. So the way blackjack is, and when you're playing with a composition of the remaining deck, if there's a lot more high cards than low cards left in the deck than there normally would be, the player has an advantage. If there's a lot more low cards than high cards left in the deck, the house has an increased advantage. When it's flat, when the deck is brand new, the house has about a pretty small percentage. It depends on what the rules are. Anywhere from about 0.5 up to about 1.3% advantage to the house. But once the cards start coming out, of course, the probabilities, the odds can swing further into the house's advantage or into the player's advantage. So that's what I did. You enjoyed the blackjack stories, Simon? Yeah, I guess I have a lot of them. People say, oh, you were gambling. No, I wasn't gambling. I had a mathematical advantage over the house, just like we have a mathematical advantage over the other retail traders. The reason I use it is because I consider the SPY super system to be my card counting method for trading, because it tells me where the institutions are in and when they're not, and it gives me an advantage over other retail traders who don't know that. All right, everybody, and I'm going to close down the YouTube room here. We've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes. I'll be back Monday now. I'm going to start doing this on Monday starting at 11:30 to 12:30 each day, around 11:30 to 12:30 each day on this YouTube feed. So look forward to everybody having a great weekend. I'll see you back here on YouTube Monday at 11:30, right around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. All right, have a great weekend.